So welcome back to a new YouTube video. In today's video I'm going to be going over some questions and answers, just like how I started the gym, like what I want to do in the future, just all stuff like that. So yeah, let's get straight into it. I used to box when I was about 10-year-old, and for about a year I was training, I was having fights, I was really enjoying it. And then I started to go to the gym more, I started the gym basically so I could get bigger and stronger at boxing. Obviously I know now that it actually does the opposite, it slows you down and stuff. It might still increase your power, but it's probably not the best thing for boxing, bodybuilding, they don't really go together too well. But basically I started going to the gym and I started training more like a bodybuilder, which meant I was putting on weight and there was I couldn't get as many fights. So I stopped getting fights, which means I didn't find it as fun anymore, because that was the main exciting part for me, like leading up to a fight. So yeah, I just stopped going as much and then started to focus on bodybuilding. So at the moment I'm doing a 4-1 on-off 4-on, 1-off split, kind of like a powerlifting split, but 4 days on, 1 day off, so it works out 5 or 6 times a week. And basically it's just full, like a typical session is about 5 or 6 exercises full of compound lifts and then some isolation. The compound lifts are just to get bigger and stronger, you know, a bit more dense, using some heavy weight. And then we've got the isolation movements as well, which is more focused about like sculpting the muscles. Say you do more stuff like lat raises, bicep curls and stuff like that, but then you've got the big compounds like bench squatting and deadlifting, shoulder pressing, bent over barbell rows. So it's a big mix of compounds and isolations, just to get like a good balance in my physique. Some of my favourite exercises are big compound movements, to be honest. I love bench pressing, I love squatting, I like doing hack squats, just pretty much any type of squatting really, big compound movements. I also quite like bent over barbell rows. They are just quite fun, nice to load up a bar. Like the other session I did 3 plates aside bent over barbell rows on the Smith machine, which I was like buzzing with. I think it's like 120 kilo or something, like 60 kilo aside. So I was buzzing with that, just trying to get that stronger. But just movements like that, I think they're absolutely amazing. And some of the movements I struggle at are squats. I like squats, but it's the hardest thing there is in my opinion. And then deadlifts. I always struggle with deadlifts just because, I don't know, I've never really got away with them, but they are very, very good for you. So basically I'm at school, you know, like 8:30 till 3:30, 5 days a week, apart from Friday I finish early. But like, because that's such a big chunk of the day, and I'm going to the gym on the night, say door to door, maybe an hour and a half at the gym, like it takes up a long time, so I don't really have that much time to do things on school days. That's why I'm pretty much just going to school, eating and going to the gym, and then by the time I've done all that I'm going to bed. So like if I'm seeing friends, it's mainly on a weekend, and then also like homework and stuff, I do that normally on the Saturday morning. So I'll do all my 5 days at school, and the Saturday morning I'll do all my homework, and then they're just probably due throughout the week, throughout that next week. So I've just got it all done, and then like I see friends as well on weekends, because to be honest I don't really have that much time in the week. If I'm going to the gym, probably like 4 out of them 5 days most of the time. So yeah. At the moment, I'm on a bulking diet. I'm on about 4,500 calories a day, aiming for 230 grams of protein, about 450 carbs. And I've been trying to keep the fat low, but obviously if it comes up, I'm not that bothered because I'm bulking. It's about 80 grams of fat on average, sometimes higher, sometimes lower. When I have cheat meals, it's probably quite a bit higher. But to be honest, I'm not that bothered about eating much fat. If I do it, I do it. But like, I'm not that bothered about gaining fat at the moment, because with me bulking, some people are scared to put on fat. I'm not. I think, to be honest, I say that I'm actually still quite lean at the moment, but I think bulking is all about gaining a little bit of body fat and pushing some heavy weights and just trying to get bigger and stronger and build as much muscle as I can before your next like cut. My biggest challenge in bodybuilding so far, it's a really good question, and it's prep. I did a 16-week prep for my 2 shows. I did a 12 and a 4. So I had 1 cheat day after the first show. So I had 12 weeks absolutely nothing. Then I had 1 cheat day, and then I had another 4 weeks. So it is just really hard because you're not having a single piece of bad food for 16 weeks, apart from that 1 day. That's just because I finished the show. But you just need to be so like disciplined and just in your head that you really wanting to just give the show your best shot, you know what I mean? Because if you like half doing it, you're not going to stick to it. You're only going to stick to it if like you really want to do it and you believe you're going to do it, you know what I mean? If you don't believe in yourself, there's not a chance you're going to make prep. But if you believe in yourself and you really want to be on stage, then I'm sure you'll be able to do it. But probably that just because like you're having no bad food for so long. Sometimes you want a pizza, sometimes you want a burger. Especially for me, I love burgers. But yeah, just chicken and rice for 8 weeks, and then fish and rice for 4. And then when you're doing the carb depleting, no rice. That's how it goes, really. My biggest role models in the sport, I actually have a few posters in my room. So people like Jay Cutler up there, got Dorian Yates behind me, right next to my bed. Got Lee Priest there above my bed as well, Lee Haney, Mike Menzer, and then I've also got Terence Ruffin over there as well. But yeah, all them, just people like Phil Heath and Urs as well, Urs Kalasinski. I've been watching a lot of him like recently, like just before he like won his Open debut, just before he changed to Open. I've been watching all of his YouTubes and that, big fan. But yeah, to be honest, just people like that, because I agree with a lot of things they say, and you know, they're all amazing bodybuilders, and they all seem like so sound, you know what I mean? Like they all seem like such nice people. The thing I'm most proudest of out of my full fitness journey is first getting sponsored by Gymshark, because that's pretty off it. Remember, use code George10 to save 10% off. And also just standing on stage for that first time. 12 weeks of prep for one moment, standing on stage. I was only on there for a few minutes, and then I went on the overall, which made the full experience even better. Stood on the overall, there was like 20 of us, the winner of each class. There was some huge guys, but I think that's what that made that show like so, that first show so good. It's just because it was just an amazing experience. Everyone was so nice, everyone was chatty, but yeah, it was just a really good atmosphere and I absolutely loved it. My advice for other teenagers wanting to start the gym: probably go 3 or 4 times a week, just because you know your recovery ability probably isn't as good as people who are used to going to the gym. You'll know what I mean. If you haven't trained a muscle in a long time, or you train like if you do a different exercise, you're going to be extremely sore. But then first few like weeks and months is just about getting experience in the gym, just finding your way around, knowing what machines do what, and once you've kind of got the basics nailed down, you've got good form on most exercises, then that's when you can really start to push, and then yeah, start trying to build some proper muscle. In the next 5 years, if you think about it, it's not that like, it's actually not that far away. I'll only be 19. It's not even like I'm in like my mid-20s or something. It'd be different if it was like a, where do I see myself in 10 years? But 5 years, I still want to be making fitness content, because you know, I think it's amazing. Still want to be in the fitness industry of some kind, and I want to be aiming to be a pro bodybuilder in the open category, just because I just think open is better than classic and men's physique and 212 in my opinion. That's just like the physiques I prefer. I still love the other categories. Like I was watching the Mr. Olympia, Keon Ryan and Ramon, absolutely crazy physiques. But to be honest, yeah, I just want to be shooting for an open IFBB pro card, just because I think that'd be really cool. I feel like if you don't want to go to the gym, you just need to crack on and go anywhere, just because you'll end up having a good session. Say you've had a long day, you're tired, if you still go to the gym, most likely you're going to have a good session. If you don't, you've still gone and trained, you know what I mean? You've still put some effort in, instead of just sitting on the sofa or just, I don't know, doing absolutely nothing. Instead, you've still gone and tried to have a good session, which, you know, on the bad days, you just need to go anywhere, because sometimes you'll have a good session and you'll be like, well, I'm glad I've gone now. I think bodybuilding's taught me a lot about confidence and discipline. First of all, confidence standing on stage in pose and trunk in front of a few hundred people, which I know a lot of people would be scared to do, and it is quite scary. But the discipline, this it comes again with my 16-week prep. 16-week prep went through my birthday and through Easter, and I tried to limit any cheat meals. I went to Nando's on my birthday. To be honest though, I'm not a fan of Nando's. I got the plainest thing on the menu, and yeah, it's just because we were all out. I didn't have my meal prep with me, so I just got some plain chicken breast from Nando's and some rice. So I still kind of stuck to my diet. But I think just discipline is like the most important thing with bodybuilding, because especially on prep, I feel like cheat on your meals as much as you want when you're bulking, because it's good to have the extra calories. But when you're cutting, you just need to fully like lock down and not eat any junk food, which is hard to do, and that's why only some people can be bodybuilders. For me, the only pressure I'm doing is myself, because I'm pressuring myself to get better, go to the gym, train harder, and just build more muscle. If I went to the gym and made absolutely no progress, I'd still go anywhere, because I just enjoy going to the gym and moving some weight. You know what I mean? I feel like some people would agree with me, some people might not. But I feel like if I wasn't to make any progress for the rest of my life, I'd still go, just because it's just amazing. But yeah, the only person pressuring me is myself, because I just want to look better and get even bigger, really. It's all dependent, isn't it, on the kid? Because for me, I felt I was mature enough to go to the gym and train when I was 10-year-old. Some people might be like 8 or 9, you don't know. Some people might be like 13 or 14, like my age now. It all depends on the maturity level of if you think you can go to the gym and train hard. It's all about that just person's maturity level. If you can go to the gym, train properly, don't mess around, whatever age you feel like you can do that is the age you can start going to the gym. For me, that was 10-year-old. You just want to make sure you've got good form on exercises, make sure you're warming up properly, because if you don't warm up, well, there's a chance this thing could come off, or this thing, or anywhere really, which isn't too good. So you need to make sure you're warming up, make sure you've got proper form. Don't just be doing dodgy form and hurting your shoulder and stuff like that, because that's not good. You want to be making sure you've got perfect form, well, as good as form you can get, and make sure you're warming up properly. They're the two main things I'd say. And also, don't lift out your you lift out your comfort zone. You want to be pushing yourself, but don't lift a weight that's stupid amount. Like, say I can bench 100 kilo for 10 reps, I wouldn't put 140 kilo on the bar and say I'm going to do 10 reps, because you'd just end up like crushing yourself, you know what I mean? It just wouldn't work. So I feel like you just need to think sensibly. It's all about being sensible in the gym. You need to push yourself, but you also need to know what's too much and what can maybe damage yourself. I think bodybuilding's affected my overall health really good, just because, well, we say going to the gym. I think going to the gym's good for your mental health, just because I don't know, exercise is good for you, isn't it? Releases endorphins, I think it's called. But when they say like, is it good for you? I think it's all about the food, really. I think if you're eating well, you're gonna feel well. If you're eating bad, you're not gonna be feeling too good. If you're having a McDonald's every single day of the week, you're probably not gonna feel too good. But then again, if you're having chicken and rice, you'll probably feel all right, as long as you know you're having high enough portions and not starving yourself. But yeah, if you eat good, you're gonna feel good. If you eat bad, it's probably not the best thing to do. You want to have a mix. For me, I think good and bad food on a bulk, but mainly good food. But whenever you want, just throw in a treat. Like with me, I'll be having my 5 clean meals a day. Whatever else I want on top, I'll have just as a cheat to gain some extra weight. So yeah, it's kind of like a fine line. You just need to like find which way you are better on, if you know what I mean. It's going to sound weird, there's absolutely nothing, because I feel like going to the gym is all about going, finding out what works for you, finding out what you enjoy, and just getting experience in the gym. Like, I feel like bodybuilding is a thing you need to work it all out yourself, and just find what works for you, really. It's all like a very self-dependent sport. Something that works for me might not work for something else. Something that works for someone else probably isn't going to work for me. You don't know. So that's why you just need to find out what works for you and what you enjoy. Because going to the gym is all about enjoying it, in my opinion. I don't really pay attention to people who don't believe in my goals, because it's all about like me. I believe in it. If I believe I can do something, I think I'm going to be able to do it. You know what I mean? You don't need to listen to people who are trying to put you down just because they don't want you to be as good as you can be. A normal day in my life for me, I'd wake up at about 7 o'clock, go downstairs, have my breakfast. I'd have 4 eggs, milk and apple juice. I'd also have 2 squares bars, and then I'd jump in the ice bath. I'd have a shower, I'd get ready for school. I'd walk to school. I'm at school 8:30 till 3:30. While I'm there, I'd have my mid-morning meal, which is a banana, a grenade bar and 2 rice cakes. And also at lunch, I'll have chicken and rice. When I get home, I'll have my mid-afternoon meal, which is a protein shake, banana and 3 rice cakes. After that, I'd go to the gym, and when I'd come home, I'd have my dinner, maybe chicken and rice again, say, and then I'd maybe have an ice cream with it or something, and then go to bed, maybe go on a walk before bed if I hit my steps. It's quite a simple routine, but that's what I do and what works for me. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in a bit.